So, my name is Chris Zach here out in San Diego, California. I am not a realtor, or if you're not in the business, a realtor. I own and operate a marketing company out here in San Diego, and I've been teaching in the Real Academy for about I want to say 5 or 6 years now at this point. So I started out when there was about 1,000 agents with Real. So it's been really fun to watch your guys' growth, watch everything that you guys have been doing. And yeah, I teach two classes. So you're attending Facebook Ads 201 here today. So this is a really good class for anyone who's already familiar with Facebook ads, someone already doing Facebook ads. This is not an introductory class. So if you have not attended my Facebook ads 101 class, I would encourage you to do that. But otherwise, we're going to go ahead and just dive right in. So, a little bit about myself. As I mentioned, I own and operate a company out here in San Diego called Chris Zach Interact. There's two things and two things we do well. So, we do a lot of lead generation, Facebook, Instagram, Google, and YouTube ads. That's one big part of our business. The other really big part of our business is we also help agents kind of build their system. So if you're listening to this, you probably have Lofty or a similar CRM. And a lot of agents are like, Chris, none of my systems are set up. Can you help? So if that's you, we'd love to help. However, yeah, as I mentioned, we teach two classes every single month. And today we're going to cover a couple different topics. So just want to dive right into it. Topics today, we are going to cover what is retargeting. So you already all know what retargeting is, whether you realize it or not. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about retargeting. We're going to talk about custom audiences. So, hey, how do I choose a specific audience to show my ads to? So we're going to work through a lot of different best practices, how to create a custom audience, what custom audience to use. And then we're going to define what is a pixel. So I do have a Google Pixel phone. However, this is something that we're going to talk about in detail today. So, and then last steps, we're going to talk money. Not about me and how much money you need to spend with me, but how much should you be spending on your marketing with Facebook ads if you're doing them, and how much of your budget should you allocate towards retargeting? So we're going to really define that, really define that. So let's first start with retargeting. I love this question. What is retargeting? So as I mentioned, you guys already know what retargeting is, whether you realize it or not. So you go on Amazon, shop for a black pair of Nikes, and then all of a sudden those Nikes start to follow you around the internet. In its most basic form, that is what retargeting is. So think of retargeting as something that, like, when you visit a website, that website or whatever you looked at or searched for is kind of following you around the internet. So you'll notice probably in the last, I would say, 3 or 4 years, pretty much any website you go to, you guys see this little message that pops up, right? This site uses cookies to enhance your browsing experience and deliver information by services. By using this site, you accept our use of cookies. That's a really fancy way of saying, hey, if you come online, we're going to stalk you. So we're going to follow you around the internet. We're going to monitor what you're doing, how long you've been on our website, what you're looking at. And so, as I mentioned, this has been happening for years. You guys are already familiar with this. So, with that being said, um, a couple things retargeting really helps with. Retargeting helps with visitor interaction. What do I mean by that? You guys realize on e-commerce, for example, right? You're buying stuff because you keep seeing that pair of leggings or that sweatshirt or that pair of shoes. They keep marketing to you, right? And so that's going to really help with that visitor interaction. It's going to track consumers and what they're doing on your website, and then it allows you to do kind of an ad display. Think of this as like a digital billboard. And then the last thing that's most important is it encourages conversions. I cannot tell you how many agents I've worked with over the years that they're like, Chris, I need new leads. I need new leads, new leads, new leads. Well, hold your horses a little bit. Do you need a bunch of new leads, or do you just need to convert more of the leads that you already have in your pipeline? So I always encourage agents before they spend another dime on new, take a look at your database. And some of you listening to this, you might have a database of 5,000 people. How many transactions are in there if you just effectively stayed top of mind? So that's what I want to show you today. All right. Now, two types of targeted, retargeting that we do. You guys are familiar with bench ads, billboards, grocery cart ads. Think of digital market or retargeting as kind of the digital version of this. If you could have a billboard on the freeway of Facebook, of Instagram, of Google, and YouTube, that's exactly what retargeting does. So it's kind of that digital side. So you can use it for kind of branding your name, your face all over everything. Anytime I say this, I always think about those people who do this to me constantly. Grant Cardone, Gary V, Billy Jean, a lot of them really good marketers. What you see, Alex Hermosi, um, you constantly see their marketing, right? As soon as you click on something, they're just constantly marketing to you, staying top of mind, top of mind, top of mind. So if you want to be kind of the digital mayor of your city, this is what you need to be doing. All right. And as I mentioned, one of my favorite things that retargeting does, yes, it does keep you top of mind, but it gets people coming back to your website. So, for an example, let's say you generated 100 leads last month. A lot of those leads won't come back to your website. You set them up on listing alerts, you've got drip email, you've got drip text messages, but at the same time, you're not converting them, they're not answering. So, yes, keep doing that, keep texting them, keep emailing them, keep calling them, but throw out another type of a media that you can stay in front of them, which is retargeting. So, imagine if you had a lead today that registered in San Diego or they're looking in a specific area in San Diego, let's say La Jolla. And then, a couple days later, they see an open house ad. Click here to view this open house in La Jolla, right? You're pushing them further down your funnel. People that are going to engage with that, obviously, they're going to keep coming back to the site, keep coming back to the site. So this is a really, really good, effective strategy. This is one that anytime I get an agent that's like, Chris, I got 10,000 leads, I just start salivating because I'm like, you've got so much business in your pipeline already. You just don't have the time or the bandwidth to call all 10,000 of those leads. So tell Facebook, show this ad to these 10,000 people and let Facebook and your website tell you, hey, these are the 30 people or the 100 people you should be following up with. They're still engaging with you, whether you know it or not. So, any questions at all? I just want to pause here, answer any questions from anyone. This is being recorded. Yes, yes, it is being recorded. So, if you need me to send the recording, um, let me know. Beautiful. Let's keep trucking along here, guys. I've got everyone muted, so if you do have a question, please send it over in chat. All right, so next up. So we talked retargeting. We kind of defined what retargeting is. Now let's define what is a pixel. So I'm an analogy guy. I love using the analogy of a door chime. So imagine if you owned a Foot Locker, and I'm going to talk Foot Locker a lot today because I think it's an easy analogy. Imagine if right when you walk in Foot Locker in a department store, some of you guys remember what a department store is. You walk into Foot Locker, ding, Chris just came in. Chris walked right to aisle two. He's looking at black Nike size 12. Think of a pixel as a door chime that follows you around the store. So a pixel is kind of like, hey, someone just came in my store. It's a door chime on your website. Okay. So we're going to need to install that door chime. Now, for those of you that are nerds like me, what this technically is, it's just a snippet of code that you're installing on your website that allows you to basically track people. Every website you go to these days has a pixel that's following you around the internet. If that's news to you, I'm sorry. But consumers, marketers like myself, they're tracking you and they're going to market to you. So the first thing we need to do is we need to install this pixel, right? We need to create a pixel, and I'm going to show you guys how to do this. So we're going to install your door chime. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to business.facebook.com. So business.facebook.com. And when you do, you're going to see this, they call it the hamburger, those three little lines. I want you to click on that and you're going to find something that says Events Manager. All right, so you're going to click Events Manager. Now, Events Manager, this is a door chime. Hey, we're looking for all my, where all my door chimes at, right? So where are the door chimes? So you're going to go to Events Manager, and now you're going to create what they call as a data source, aka I want to start stalking people when they come to my website. All right, so you're going to click this green button that's the little plus sign, And then it's going to say, hey, what kind of data source do you want to connect? I only want you guys to just do the website one, the web. The CRM side, yes, they do have an integration with it. If you're a little more tech savvy, do that. But otherwise, just for training today, let's just do web. I want to put this on my website. I want to install a door chime on my website. All right, you're going to need to name that data set. You're going to need to name that door chime. So if you're in the mall, you're going to call this Foot Locker, right? Floor two, suite 207 Foot Locker. So for you, this is where you're going to be. Hey, this is my real estate website, Chris's real estate website. That's what you would put. So you're going to create that new data set and you're going to just name it. So name whatever your store is. Chris's real estate website. If you have multiple businesses, this comes in handy. But otherwise, just for real estate, you could put your website name in, and then you're going to need to put your actual website URL. So this is www dot, name of our company is Chris Zach Interact. So chriszacinteract.com. And once I do that, you're gonna notice this little green checkbox comes up for me. If you do not have this pixel, this door chime installed on your website, you're gonna get a little red stop sign here. So for me, I already have this installed. So put in your website URL and then you can check it. What it's gonna do, hey, do you have a door chime already on your website? Yes or no? You're gonna see either green or red. All right. So let's assume you have never done this and you only need to do this once. So what you're going to do is actually it'll say install it on your website. So you're going to click that and then you have two options. You can either manually add it or you can use a partner integration. So you're going to do the manual part. I say manual. All you literally have to do is just copy and paste. But yeah, it's really, really simple. Anyone here listening to this not use Lofty? Does everyone use Lofty? If so, I'm going to send it over in chat. This is how you do it step by step within Lofty. It's literally 3 clicks within the Lofty website. They make it really easy. But does anyone not have Lofty? I'm just going to hang on for a second. If you have another website, speak now or forever hold your peace. All right. So you're going to have to copy and paste this. Door chime installed. As I mentioned, it takes about 30 seconds to do it. You only have to do it once. So I'm just going to hang out for another 15 seconds. Any questions at all before I move on? Question came in. You have multiple businesses. Do you need multiple pixels? Yeah, I would probably do that just so everything's clean. So if you've got a department store where you sell clothing, call that pixel, clothing shop. And then your real estate one, call that, real estate. It's just a separate door chime. It allows you to just, I think, have cleaner data. Technically, you don't have to, but I would recommend it. Any other questions? Any other questions? All right. So let's assume you've got your door chime installed. Now what do? Chris, people walk into my Foot Locker, ding, door chime goes off. Someone visits my website. Now you can start tracking them. So here's the good news, bad news about this. The good news is the door chime's installed. The bad news is it doesn't start counting people and kind of building up what they call an audience until right now. So basically, next step is we need to build an audience, which is, hey, when someone walks in my store, I want to know if they look at Nikes. Or for real estate, I want to know if they're a buyer. I want to know if they're a seller. I want to know if they're, searching in a specific city or neighborhood. Okay. So we're going to create now what they call as a custom audience. Now, before I do dive into that, I want to talk a little bit about custom audiences because sometimes agents get confused. Like, Chris, you're telling me I can create all these different custom audiences, but I should just show them to one. So let me define this for you guys. So I've been on this side of the wall, since 2007. So I know real estate agents, you have a lot of different kind of marketing that you do. Some of you are doing postcards. Some of you are doing banners at Little League games. Some of you are buying leads from Zillow. Those are all different audiences. Your past clients, that's a separate audience. So think of this as just like a digital audience. And so I'll define what these different audiences are. But yes, to answer your question, you can have 100 custom audiences. Think of it as just different lead sources. That's how I want you to kind of view the custom audiences. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to define this, and we're going to create some custom audiences now. So let's go ahead and we're going to go to the custom audiences. And how we're going to get there is actually you're going to go to business.facebook again, and you are going to go ahead and find audiences. And if you do not see what's on my screen right now, you're going to click on all tools or like that little hamburger again. And then you should see there's an audience button. So it should look something like this on your screen. All right. Is everyone there? All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create an audience. So we're going to hit create and we're going to create a custom audience. Create custom audience. And this is exactly how we're going to create one for your website. All right. So when I click on create custom audience, it pulls up all of these options. Remember I said we've got all these different lead sources that you guys market to? So does Facebook, so does Instagram. So you'll notice all of these different custom audiences. So for those of you taking notes, I just want to define a couple of these. So we're going to start with website. Chris, I want a door chime on my website. All right, we already installed the door chime, which is the pixel. Now we need to set and kind of define this. So back to my Foot Locker analogy. I want to know if people visit specific pages on my website. This is exactly what e-commerce companies have been doing for years. You need to be doing the same in real estate. So if you go to Foot Locker and you look at Nikes, they need to know that. So right here it would be footlocker.com/Nike. For you in real estate, it's going to be, listwithchris.com/, La Jolla or Coronado or Rancho Penasquitas or Poway or Del Mar. So for you in your area, you're going to want to have a custom audience for each page on your website. Now, if anyone wants to, I always get some agents that say, Chris, can I volunteer myself? Can I be your guinea pig today? If you want to send over your website, I will define it for you and help you out. But yeah, does anyone have a website they want me to view? Otherwise, I'm going to just kind of pick. All right. So as I mentioned, think of the Foot Locker analogy. So, all right. So I'm going to just use kind of my example here. Then I didn't get anyone's, no one sent that over here in chat. All right. So let's take a look at this. All right. So the custom audiences. So you'll notice on this real estate website. So this is John Barnack, client in Illinois. Some of you know John. He's a good man. He's got on his website home, buy, sell, and then he's got a bunch of neighborhood pages. So he's got like, I don't know, 10 or 15 different cities that he focuses in. And then he's got a blogs page. He's got an about section. He does a lot of recruiting. And then he's got a market snapshot. So back to my Foot Locker analogy. Nikes, shoes, clothes, right? All the different brands that they cover and work with. Same thing in your real estate. You want to know if someone's buying. Why? Because then you can show them buy specific ads. If someone's thinking about selling, then all of your ads should be about selling. Hey, 5 things to do before selling your home. Download our free seller's guide. Want to know what your home is worth? So you can target that. The neighborhoods one. That's a really, really good one. Click here to view all open houses in San Diego this weekend. It's like hunting with a sniper rifle here. The more and more you pay attention to this. So what I would recommend you do is go through your website. Most of you on your real estate website, you probably have 15 or 20 pages. And so I would encourage you to go in and create, all of those within the system here. So I'd encourage you guys to do that. All right. So create a custom page for each area that you service, or each page on your website. And then what you're going to do is you have the ability to, actually, let me back up here, right here. So you can target people who visit specific pages like Foot Locker. Hey, I want anyone who goes to this page. So you would copy and paste that website URL from your website. So you've got that there. And then you can do this for 180 days. You can do this for 180 days. What does that mean? If someone comes to your website today, you can show them ads for the next 180 days or 6 months. All right. Any questions there? Any questions there? All right. So let's jump ahead here. So we've talked about the all visits. So you're going to need to do this, and the first time, what I would encourage you to do is as soon as you finish this up today, this training, I would set up all of the pages on your website. As I mentioned, you might have to do that same step 15 times, but once you do, it's done. You don't have to worry about it again. And so that's when the tracker starts, counting. So if someone comes and looks at your website today, hey, you got 10 people that came to your site today. That audience size is 10. Another 30 come tomorrow. Now your audience size is 40. So that ticker, if you will, it starts tracking and counting people today. Yep, yep. All right. So a couple other ones that you can do. A couple other you can do. And so you can create a custom audience for anyone who's engaged with you on Facebook or Instagram. This is business page specific. So maybe you do a lot of social media marketing. Maybe you've been running ads for a year. This is really cool because you can say, hey, I want to show this ad to anyone who's, ever been to my Facebook business page or anyone who's ever been to my Instagram account. Um, so this is really, really powerful. So how you're going to do this is you're going to go to how to create a custom audience. All right. You're going to go, let me just answer this question here in chat real quick. All right. So you're going to go to create a custom audience, and now we're going to do Instagram. Okay. So on the Instagram side of things, hey, I want to target and show anyone who's ever engaged with my Instagram or my Facebook page in the last 365 days. So with Facebook and Instagram, you can actually go back 12 months. So this was really powerful. So if you want to start doing retargeting today, you're like, Chris, I've been spending money on Facebook for years. This is what I would encourage you to do and set up and launch today. Um, hey, show this ad to anyone who's engaged with me on Facebook or Instagram. You'll get people, and some of you, you experienced this already. Maybe there's someone who's like, man, I see this guy's ads everywhere. You want to be that agent and you want to be strategic about that. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes here. But any questions in regards to that? Any questions on that? All right. So, yeah, Facebook and Instagram. Um, I think I've answered all questions in chat. Let me know if there's any others that I haven't, guys. All right, let's keep on trucking then. All right, so how to create a custom audience. So how do we do this for a customer list now? So some of you have generated seller leads, right? Hey, Chris, I've got a list of, homeowners that are most likely to sell. Can we show an ad to them specifically? So that's a really, really good way to create a custom audience. So what we have the ability to do here, if you want, is you could say, hey, Facebook, show this ad to this specific list of people. And so that's what we're going to do now is we're going to create that custom audience for a customer list. This is massive for you if you've got a big database. Some of you listening to this right now, maybe use Lofty as your CRM. You could download all of your leads and say, Facebook, show this ad to all of my Lofty leads. And so how you would do that, you're going to create a custom audience, but now you're going to do customer list. All right. And then the next step you're going to do is you will have to submit that CSV file. So that's a Microsoft Excel file. But I'm a big fan of doing that for customer list. Think about it from a farming perspective. If you've got a list of homeowners most likely to sell, maybe you've got a list of FISBOs and expireds, and you want to say, hey, show this ad to these FISBOs, you could do that. You could take all your website leads. A really good idea we do a lot of right now is, Chris, we're getting ready to have a holiday party. We're getting ready to do a pie giveaway. I want to record a video, and can I just show this ad to all my past clients? Hey, this is Chris. Hope you had a great 2025. I want to invite you and your family, to our Christmas party, our holiday, blah, blah, blah. So we have a lot of clients that do that type of stuff this time of year. And so you have the ability to do that as well. Really good for sellers, really good for past clients. If you've got a database of 10,000 leads, use this custom audience for that customer list. It's massive. And then a couple others for anyone taking notes. We already talked about Facebook and Instagram, but you can also target like people who have watched certain parts of your video. So you can do a custom audience for, hey, show this ad to anyone who's watched 50% of my video. Or you can also do Facebook lead forms. So, hey, anyone who's hit this Facebook lead forms, but they didn't leave their information, show them that ad again. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions? All right, perfect. So now let's talk a couple different kind of examples. I want to show you guys some examples of what these ads look like and some good examples that you can start to show. So we've created custom audiences. So let's kind of back up and define this a little bit. We've installed the door chime on your website. We've told Facebook and Instagram, hey, these are the custom audiences I want to target and kind of create. And now the third part is we've got the pixels installed, the audience is ready. Now, how do we actually start showing ads to these people? All right. So, as I mentioned, we're not going to go through and create an ad from start to finish. We've already done that. So, what I do want you to know is Facebook Ads 101, we show you from start to finish how to create an ad. And so, what's important here is you're going to do a traffic ad. That's what we're looking for, is a traffic ad. All right. Once again, a traffic ad, what does that mean? Hey, show this ad to people on Facebook, and when they click on it, take them off of Facebook and send them to the website. Send them to the website. So hopefully that's helpful. All right. So we're going to do traffic ad. Um, yes, I will send the recording. If you want the recording, just send it over, send your email over in chat. And I will get it over to you here today. Same thing, if you want Facebook Ads 101 or 201, you can either email me at chris@chrisackinteract. Otherwise, scan the QR code here in a few minutes and I'll send it over to you. So, all right, so we're creating an ad. All right, so within that ad now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to say, hey, I want to do a traffic ad and I want to show this ad to this list of people. So Foot Locker, right? Whatever your ad that it is that you're doing. So if you're doing an ad for one of your new listings, you don't want to show that to everyone. Maybe you want to show that to people who are interested in that area. So maybe there's 4 or 5 areas that you work. As I mentioned, you could have specific audiences for each one of those. Hey, this is my Del Mar audience. This is my, Fort Worth audience. This is my Venice, Florida audience. So have your different audiences. So you're going to tell Facebook, show this ad to this group of people, this specific audience. Now, the audience size needs to be, I would say, a minimum of about 500 people. Realistically, I would say probably 1,000 plus. So keep that in mind. If you do upload an audience, it needs to be big enough because otherwise, Facebook they just won't they won't actually show that ad. You know, and then here's a couple good examples of some retargeting ads. So we do a lot of just listed ads. If you want, we can run any of these ads for you guys. We do have a product called 7 Days to Sell. It's 89 bucks for a 7 day ad. We do the graphics and everything for you. So what you're looking at is kind of a couple examples, but do retargeting for just listed, just sold, open houses. Those do really, really well. The other thing that does really well, and this is obviously area specific. So maybe you have a lot of golf course properties in your area. Maybe you're in a 55 plus community. Um, Maybe you have oceanfront properties. Maybe you have homes in a certain price point. Maybe you've got military relocation, whatever your niche is in your area. Maybe you're in, Texas, equestrian properties. Whatever the niche is in your market, you want to show that and display that here. So golf course properties, got a client here that does some vacation rentals, some, Airbnb type stuff. Generic ads for areas, those do really well. Click here to view all homes in this area between this price point. Those do really, really well. Couple other examples. Video. I'm a big fan of video. Come on, load. There we go. Think I got all questions answered in chat, guys, but keep them coming. But yeah, this is a great example of some video. Anytime someone looks at, a specific page on your website, then they see this video popping up. So I love this type of an approach. So couple other kind of reminders, guys, on the retargeting side. You can do what they call as pixel based, so door chime, or you can say, hey, show to this specific list of people. So you can do either type on that. And as I mentioned, for anyone taking notes, example topics of good retargeting ads: just listed, just sold, open house, ocean views, price point, area features. And then just want to show you guys these again so you can kind of visually get an idea. Different lifestyle. All right, I'm going to pause. Any questions at all before we kind of wrap up here? We're doing well. Not a ton of questions, but some good ones coming through chat. All right, let's cover a few best practices then. So, you don't want to be the annoying realtor. We've all seen that one ad 37 times, and you're like, man, they need to fire their marketing person. Whoever it is, they just keep showing me the same ad over and over and over, right? You do not want to be the realtor. Don't be that guy. So, something that we pay attention to that really kind of allows you to know if you're being that agent or not, is what they call as frequency score. How frequently are people seeing your ads? So the sweet spot with retargeting, I like to shoot between like 4 and 7 times. I want to show them this one specific ad between 4 and 7 times. So if you think about that, what does that mean? People are on Facebook, right? They're scrolling through. They see another ad. That's really, really cool. Um, you want to continue to show those ads, but at the same time, keep in mind that just because people are on Facebook doesn't mean they see your ad every single time. You guys are scrolling through so fast on Facebook and Instagram, you go by ads and don't even realize it. So, 4 to 7, that's kind of the sweet spot. So, pay attention to frequency score. So, when you do start running ads, one of the metrics I would track is frequency score. The other one, the other one is called cost per click. You guys are familiar with this. Agents are always blown away when I talk about this. Retargeting and cost per click is dirt cheap. So maybe you pay $300 a lead. I actually just talked to one of my clients in Orange County. He's paying $1,200 per Zillow lead right now. So I asked him, and it was a joking kind of rhetorical question, but I said, would you pay 30 cents to get that $1,200 Zillow lead back to your site? He kind of chuckled and he was like, of course I would. Of course I would. So retargeting is really, really affordable. So if you think about it and you see some of these metrics here on my screen, these are actual campaigns we've run for agents. So this agent, for example, they spent $37 and we got 63 of their old dead leads back to the site. This particular campaign, they spent 379 bucks. They got 1,900 leads back to their website. That's insane. So you have the ability to really get a lot of leads back to the website using retargeting. You got to be strategic about it. So really, really powerful. I try and shoot between about, I would say 30 cents and 50 cents for cost per click. That's what you want to basically pay to get people to come back to your website. Couple other best practices. Um, be specific. So, as I mentioned, you want to show specific ads to certain people, but at the same time, you don't want to be too specific. So for example, don't show golf course properties in like a community that only has like 9 homes for sale. So maybe do like, hey, the entire city golf course properties. And then I say experiment with segmentation. That's a big word for me to say. What do I mean by that? Try an ad for, homes in this area, and then try an ad for homes in this area between this price point, and then try price reduced homes, then try open houses. See what ad gets better clicks for you. So this isn't just kind of a one and done. You want to try and experiment with these different ads, and then I say regularly update your audience. That's kind of a catch 22 because what does regular mean? If you're generating, I would say 300 leads a month, you want to update your hey, this is my entire lead list. You want to update it probably every 90 days. Most of you, though, you will need to update your audience once every 6 months. And there's only one audience that I'm talking about, and that's your basically, hey, all my leads from my CRM. All of the other audiences you don't need to update. All right. And then I mentioned leverage analytics, right? You want to leverage some analytics here. So we talked about cost per click. We talked about frequency score. That stuff's really, really important. And then let's talk money. Agents are always baffled when I talk about this. So what's really, really cool is you have the ability here in the system to basically tell the system, hey, I want to spend 50 bucks or 100 bucks on retargeting this month. That's all you need. Most agents do not need a huge, massive marketing budget for retargeting. So, kind of my general rule of thumb is if you've got, let's say, a $500 budget on marketing, 80% of your budget should be new leads, new leads, new leads, and 20% should be retargeting. Now, some of you listening to this, I might recommend something different. Why would I say that? So I would think about how many leads do you have? Do you have a massive database of 10,000 leads? If so, I'm going to tell you no, spend 80% of your budget on retargeting and 20% on new leads. So it really depends on how big your audiences are. How many leads have you paid for in the past? If you want, feel free to set up a free consultation with us. We can take a look in your CRM. We can take a look at, some of your audiences and give you like an exact number. But with retargeting, you do not need a massive marketing budget. Um, and so just really, really important. Um, but with that being said, guys, that concludes Facebook Ads 201 here. I hope you guys found this helpful. As I mentioned, we do Facebook, Instagram, Google, and YouTube ads. So if we can help you scan this QR code, as I mentioned, also, we do have a 7-day Facebook ad that's $89. We can do everything that we showed you here today. So if you need promoting a listing, you want to do retargeting, scan that QR code. The other thing, two other things. Follow us on social. We only do real estate marketing. That's our bread and butter for the last, since 2007. And so if there's anything we can do to help, follow us on social. We're constantly showing, different strategies that we do and we test. And then the last thing, we do a bi-monthly newsletter. We just sent out an email actually about ways to get more reviews in your real estate business. So we're constantly sharing best practice. If you do sign up for our newsletter, just make sure you check your email and confirm it. Otherwise, we will not send you anything. And yeah, if you guys do have a question, feel free to email me, chris@chrissackinteract.com. But otherwise, I appreciate you guys attending here today. Thank you. Thank you for letting me teach and pour into you and your business. If there's anything to do I can help, please let me know. I'm going to hang out for a couple minutes. This is being recorded. So if you do want the recordings, you can either hit me up on social media or shoot me an email. I'll send the recording. But otherwise, guys, thanks so much for attending and hope you are doing well, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.